My name is Dawn. I'm a goblin girl who loves to tell heartwarming tales of my adventures. Fictional, of course, but I hope you enjoy them anyway. The Winter Cottage. The blizzard came on faster than any storm Dawn had seen in her 23 winters. One moment she was gathering winter berries for her grandmother's potions. The next, she couldn't see her own hands in front of her face. The path back to the gloomwood had vanished under white. She stumbled through the snow, her copper hair plastered to her face, when suddenly, a light. Warm and golden through the trees, a cottage, salvation. She pounded on the door, not caring that she looked like a drowned goblin rat. It opened, and there stood a man with dark hair and a beard, green eyes widening at the sight of her. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with calloused hands that looked like they knew their way around an axe. "You're a goblin," he said, his voice deep and rumbling. "And you're observant," Dawn chattered back, teeth clacking together. "Can I come in before I become a goblin popsicle?" He stepped aside, and she tumbled into warmth. The cottage was simple. One room, a massive stone fireplace, the scent of pine and wood smoke. And quiet. So very quiet. "Thomas," he said, handing her a blanket with a soft, warm chuckle. "Dawn," she replied, wrapping herself up. "And thank you for letting me come in." Thomas moves to the hearth with practiced ease. The coffee pot hangs from a hook, blackened from years of use. He doesn't ask how she takes it, just pours it strong and steaming into a thick ceramic mug. Meanwhile, Dawn looks around. One room. One chair by the fire. One plate on the shelf. One cup, now hers. The bed in the corner is neatly made, military corners. No pictures on the walls. No clutter. Just existence. "You're very tidy for a man who lives alone," she observes. He hands her the coffee, their fingers brushing. "My wife always said a clean space is a sign of a cluttered mind." Dawn's golden eyes find his. She's gone. 3 winters now. He sits in his chair, watching her. "What about you? Goblins don't usually wander this far north." Dawn wraps both hands around the warm mug. "I'm very good at making poor decisions." Thomas's green eyes crinkle at the corners. "Showing up at a stranger's door during a blizzard? That's definitely a poor decision." Dawn sips the coffee, strong enough to strip paint, and grins. "Actually, this might be the first good decision I've made all week." He raises an eyebrow. "You have a low bar." "The lowest," she agrees. "But I'm an excellent judge of character, and you, Thomas the woodcutter, have kind eyes." He looks away, but she spots the blush creeping up his neck. Flattery won't make the storm pass faster. "Worth a shot," she, settling deeper into the blanket. "So, what does a man who lives alone do for entertainment?" He studies her for a long moment, then nods toward the window where snow still whirls. "Usually, not this." Thomas's expression softens. He gestures toward the back wall, where fishing poles lean in the corner. "Best fishing in the territory," he says quietly. Spring through fall, lakes just through those trees. But come first freeze, it's just waiting. Dawn follows his gaze. Waiting for what? For thaw, for the fish to return, for something to change. You can, he starts over. If you're still here come spring, I'll show you. Dawn's heart does that funny little flutter. If I'm still here. He meets her eyes, and there's something in his expression she can't quite name. Storm might trap you. Might be a while before the path's clear enough for travelling. She smiles slowly. I suppose I'll just have to wait and see what thaws first. The lake. Or you. Thomas blinks, then a rare, genuine laugh escapes him. Your trouble. The very best kind, Dawn promises. The storm shows no signs of stopping. The wind howls like a pack of wolves. And as evening falls, Thomas starts making up the bed. The bed, singular, with military precision. Dawn watches from her blanket nest by the fire. You know, she says innocently, goblins don't really feel the cold like humans do. Thomas looks across the room at her and asks, Meaning? Meaning I could sleep by the fire. You take the bed. She says it so casually, so helpfully. He frowns. I'm not making a guest sleep on the floor. Then, she lets the word hang, golden eyes wide and guileless. We could share? I promise, I'm very small. And you did say the storm might trap me here for a while. Thomas stares at her. She's wrapped in his blanket, copper hair wild, looking up at him like she's offering the most reasonable solution in the world. He opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again. Your trouble, he mutters, but he's already pulling an extra blanket from the trunk. Morning comes. Thomas wakes to find Dawn has claimed him as her personal mattress. She's sprawled across his chest, one leg thrown over his, copper hair tickling his chin. Every time he tries to shift, she makes this little grumbling sound and clings tighter. He lies there, frozen, not from fear, but from the realization that he doesn't actually mind. Not even a little. She's absolutely adorable, and he's been alone for a long time. The blizzard's still howling outside. But inside? Something has definitely thawed. He tries to gently slip free of her grip. I mean, he's a gentleman. But the moment he moves, Dawn makes that adorable grumbling noise and wraps both arms around him like he's a stuffed toy she refuses to surrender. Thomas freezes. He's strong enough to lift logs twice his size, but dislodging a sleeping goblin? That's apparently impossible. Morning, Dawn mumbles against his chest, not opening her eyes. Don't even think about it. Think about what? He asks, voice rough from sleep. Leaving, she says. The bed's finally warm. He should protest. He should get up, make coffee, start his day. Instead, he stays exactly where he is, one arm wrapping around her in defeat, or victory. Who knows? The blizzard outside rages on, but inside, the thawing continues. Thomas finally manages to slide out from under Dawn's grasp. He makes coffee, stronger than yesterday, and a simple breakfast of eggs and toast. Dawn appears in one of his flannel shirts, looking impossibly small in it, hair a copper cloud. They eat in companionable silence, knees touching under the small table. Outside, the snow still falls. But inside, everything feels different. Warmer. Thomas catches himself watching her more than he should. He didn't miss the fact that she's already claimed one of his shirts. Dawn catches him catching himself. Neither says a word, but they're both smiling. That's how you know it's real. Dawn happily hums Goblin songs while watching Thomas chop wood through the window. The solid thunk, thunk rings out into the cold winter air as he swings his axe. Sweat already beading on his forehead from the exertion. She accidentally leaves her copper hair ribbon tied to his fishing pole. She also convinced him to let her carve tiny goblin symbols into the firewood. For good luck, she insists. Little bits of goblin mischief to prove she's been here. She wants to leave her mark, maybe even maintain it, permanently. The next morning, Thomas finds the ribbon. He's reaching for his fishing pole, planning to restring the line while he's snowed in. And there it is, copper silk, tied in a neat bow around the handle. He stares at it for a long moment, then looks across the room at Dawn, who's accidentally knocked over his woodpile while practicing goblin balancing techniques. "Dawn," he says quietly. She looks up, all innocence. "Yes?" "Come here, please." She does, padding over in bare feet. He holds out the pole, the ribbon fluttering. "What's this?" "A ribbon," she says, as if stating the obvious. He studies her face, those golden eyes, that slight smirk she can't quite hide. And something in him shifts. He feels the ice around his heart starting to crack. "You're not going to leave when the storm breaks, are you?" It's not a question, really. Dawn's expression softens. She takes his hand, the one not holding the fishing pole. "No," she whispers. "I'm not." He pulls her close, rests his chin on the top of her head. Good. The thaw. The last snow melts. The lake cracks and groans, shedding its winter skin. Green pushes through brown earth, and Thomas watches Dawn watching it all. Her golden eyes brighter than the sun on melting ice. They don't need words anymore. They just are. One morning, Thomas hands her a fishing pole, the one with her ribbon still tied to it. Time to make good on my promise. The lake is glass clear, reflecting a sky that's finally blue again. Dawn catches a fat trout on her first cast. Thomas pretends not to be jealous of her quick success. "Already taught her too well," he mutters under his breath. But he grins because her joy is infectious and he can't help himself. That night, Thomas makes a feast of her trout. Afterward, as they sit together, full and happy, Thomas takes her hand and says the words he thought he'd never say again. Stay. And Dawn, who's been saying yes since the first snowflake fell, just smiles and says, I already am. I hope you've enjoyed my story today. I'll do my best to come up with more ways to let my mischief lead to more cute humans. What proper goblin girl doesn't love human men, right? See you next time.